Welcome back, everyone, to our Celo workshop. I'd like to welcome Elio Jordan Lopes. He is an experienced full stack blockchain and web developer who's also an ACM-VIT alumnus. Being a Celo India Fellow, he has worked on countless industry level projects, and we're sure that he'll take away immense knowledge from the workshop. Welcome, Elio.
Yeah, Hi everyone. Yeah, so grateful to be here. And uh, yeah, so about me, I'm Elio and I'm a full stack blockchain developer. And I recently graduated from the Celo India Fellowship, and I'm a fourth year student at computer science student at VIT Vellore. Um, yeah, so I'm sharing my screen right now. Yeah, so let's get started. Yeah, about my blockchain journey, I have been taking every hackathon, every blockchain summit as a challenge to learn a new protocol, something about Web3, and also about blockchain and crypto. Some of my projects include Dungeon Crawler, which was my first blockchain project back in the month of February at the Chainlink Virtual Spring Hack. After that, we participated at ETH Global Hack Money Hackathon, wherein we built Nifty subs. And thereafter at ETH Odyssey, where we built a DAO for insurances. And yeah, and at the Celo Fellowship, where I built a creator economy platform on Celo. So, and yeah, so recently me and Rishabh from ACM, we graduated from the Celo Camp Web3 Accelerator, which provides you a network of mentors, of investors, and funding to build your blockchain startup on Celo. Some of my favorite crypto and blockchain educational channels include Patrick Collins. You must be all knowing about him. Nether Debit, Morales Web3, and Eat the Block. Yeah, so yeah, without any delay, let's get started. What is Celo? So Celo is a platform which acts as a global payment infrastructure for cryptocurrencies that aims to target mobile users. It's a mobile first blockchain, which is also EVM compatible. And its goal is to promote financial activity to be accessible to anyone thanks to its ability for payments to be sent to and from any phone number in the world. In addition to basic payments, support the development of decentralized applications on its blockchain. Um, so examples include contributing to a community's universal basic income scheme as well as crowdfunding platforms for social causes. Um, yeah, Central to running operations on the blockchain, it also provides two native tokens. One is the Celo token, which is the governance asset for the Celo blockchain, just like Ether for Ethereum blockchain. And we also have native stable coins like Celo dollars, which mirrors the value of the US dollar. Something about the Celo India Fellowship. I'll share the link to this in the chat. You can read about this. Uh, yeah, so the Celo Fellowship was an 8-week mentor-led program with mentors from C Labs and also various projects developing on Celo like Moola, PaySale, and many other million-dollar startups building solutions on Celo. And it was powered by DevFolio. And we were introduced to Celo's mission, that is to build a financial system that creates conditions of prosperity for everyone. And uh, apart from meeting so many people, we learned about so many projects and protocols building on Celo, be it tools, um, applications in DeFi, applications creating impact, and so on. Most importantly, building dApps on mobile, in addition to web, and sending and receiving transactions, to building real-world apps on Celo. So yeah, most of it was through cohort-based discussions, and it was concluded by a capstone project, which basically summarized the learnings from the fellowship with a real-world dApp. So make sure you keep an eye on the next Celo India Fellowship. It will be worth the experience. Yeah, so topics that we are going to cover today include Celo wallets, configuring Celo on Metamask, deploying contracts to Celo blockchain using Truffle, sending Celo dollars CUSD from one account to another using ContractKit, and a decentralized health registry mobile app using Celo Dapkit. Yeah, so we are going to cover these topics within this time frame. And yeah, so about Celo wallets, for doing development, blockchain development on Celo, you can either use MetaMask, you can use Celo extension wallet, and for mobile dApps or mobile decentralized applications, you can use the Velora wallet. Uh, your experience building on Celo if you have previously built on Ethereum. So Celo is a layer 1 EVM compatible blockchain. In simple terms, you can compile the smart contracts that you write on Ethereum, and basically all goodies of Ethereum apply to Celo. To learn more about Celo, you can visit Figment, and it also has a lot of resources which help you get started building on Celo. This is what I actually started with, apart from the Celo docs. So the Figment Learn pathway is one of the best places to start building on Celo. The dApp architecture. So most of us might be knowing how dApps work. So dApps are decentralized applications, and on Celo we have both web and mobile dApps as well. So the dApps use a wallet software, and the users interact with the wallets um, as a medium to talk with the blockchain. So the wallet in turn uses public nodes, which communicate as a backend using the node software. Configuring Celo on MetaMask. So to help you get started with Celo, let's begin with configuring Celo on MetaMask. I have already done this, but I'll show you how you can add Celo network to MetaMask. So most of us must be familiar with Ethereum, um, the test networks on Ethereum like Robson Test Network, Kovan, Drinkby, Goerli, and so on, and the local host as well, which you can on which you can work locally. So in the same way, Celo, yeah. Let me just open this link. Any doubts so far? Yeah, so to configure the Celo network on MetaMask, first you need to have MetaMask in your browser, MetaMask extension, which you can take from MetaMask extension on Chrome. I'm using the Brave browser. It's available for Brave as well. So you can download MetaMask from here. And once you download that, if you want to add a new network, you can go to add network, and in here you need to give the network name. So Celo has the main network where actual transactions, which is actual money, through actual money take place. The test networks are used for the development purpose, using test tokens like test Celo tokens, test CUSD tokens, etc. And there's also this backlover testnet. So for today's development session, we are going to use the Alpha Eurus testnet. So the network name should be whatever you like, Celo testnet or Celo Alpha Eurus testnet. The RPC URL is really very important. So you just need to copy paste all of this stuff into uh, into the respective fields here. So the chain ID for the test network is 44787, and the currency's symbol is the governance token, which is Celo, and the block explorer URL, which is alpha eurus blockscout.celo testnet.org. So this is the link to the Etherscan of Celo. Most of you must have been familiar with Etherscan, which is the block explorer for the Ethereum blockchain. Yeah, and similarly, we have the Alpha Eurus block scout for the Alpha Eurus test network for Celo. So I have already configured my Celo test network, and you can see it over here. Let's explore further. So you can either configure Celo network on Metamask to run on Celo networks, or you can use the Celo extension wallet. So Celo extension wallet is a wallet native to Celo. It again, it has the main network, the test networks, and the local host, the local network as well. So you can spin up a local blockchain if you want to develop with the local host, just like Ganache. Um, yeah, so we have explored adding Celo network to MetaMask. You can download the Celo extension wallet. The deck has already been shared with you guys. So going to the next slide. So to make transactions on the blockchain, you need to have some asset, which would be incurred as gas fees for every transaction. So for that, you need to fund your testnet accounts. So I have the Alpha Eurus testnet network already set up, and let me create a new account. Let's name it test account. So this is a totally new account. It has zero Celo dollars. So we head over to Alpha Eurus faucet, where you can basically fund your fund your test network account with your with the assets Celo and Celo US dollar and Celo euro. Yeah, so I copy the address of my wallet and I paste it in the field provided here. You need to do a reCAPTCHA check. Once that is done, it takes some time for the assets to get loaded into your wallet. You can also import other tokens for the same. If you go to Celo docs, and if you go to the part where you can add tokens in the documentation, there are token content addresses provided for the main network, the Alpha Eurus test network, and also the backlover testnet. So to add a token to the wallet, you can import tokens from here, add the token content address, and as soon as you add the address, the token symbol and the decimal is automatically detected, and you can add the custom address and import the token. So the account should be funded soon. Meanwhile, let's go to the first task, which is deploying a contract to Celo using Truffle. and completing your very first Celo bounty on Gitcoin. So here's the task on Gitcoin. You guys have any questions? Okay. Yeah, learn to deploy a smart contract on Celo, and for doing this, you earn one Celo token. So you can follow the instructions over here. I'll basically follow through what we have to do, and you can start your work. And when you submit your block explorer link, that marks the end of your submission. And you need to basically wait for your Celo token to arrive. Um, yeah, so without any further ado, let's go to the link in slide number 11, which is hello contract truffle.git. So this is a boilerplate repo, and you can also head over to the docs here, the doc link here, which will guide you through writing your first smart contract, and also like deploying it to the Alpha Heroes test network. So I'll just run quickly through this demo before we jump into the main aspects. So I'm guessing most of us here would be familiar with Solidity. So this is a very basic smart contract in Solidity, which is the Hello World smart contract. Yeah, so it has a string name known as Celo, and there's a function called to return the name, and you can also set your own string variable, and later like change the name from Celo to any other name. So yeah, I already have it. Yeah, I'll just run through what is to be done in this. Basically, when you clone this repo, you'll have this contracts folder. So you create a new file known as helloworld.sol. Paste the code. So this is your very first smart contract that you're going to deploy on the Celo blockchain. And for every smart contract, once you compile the smart contract using Truffle, you need to migrate it to the Celo test network. So for that, you need to create a migration file. So under migrations, we have the initial migration JS file, which is the boilerplate file. And we create a new migration file known as the hello world migration.js. You can name it whatever you want. So what we do over here is we just import the smart contract called hello world, and we export it using deployer.deploy. So coming back to Truffle. Yeah. So Truffle is a set of tools that help you compile and migrate smart contracts. So just like Truffle, we have Hardhat, which is also a similar set of tools which help you build decentralized applications in the blockchain tech stack. So you have Solidity, you have React, you have either Truffle or Hardhat. Yeah. So I'll just run through the code of the Truffle config file. So Celo has this contract kit, which I'll be jumping into later. Please bear with me for this until some point in time. We are just going to learn how to deploy a smart contract on the Celo test network in this tutorial. So yeah, we declare the kit using require Celo contract kit, and we connect to the Celo test RPC, which is the Forno RPC developed by C Labs, developed and maintained by C Labs. C Labs is Celo Labs, and yeah, we have a script known as getAccount.js. So what the get account does is it basically tries to resolve the address of your account using the private key that you give in the secret file. One thing that is to be noted is whenever you are doing development on the blockchain, never use a wallet that you actually store funds in. Always use a test wallet for development purposes, so that even if your secret or your private key is leaked, you don't have to worry much about that, because anyone can gain access to your private key and log into your wallet and make use of all your funds and even exploit it to the full. So um, yeah, coming back to the Truffle config file, we have this get account file, which get account function, which basically tries to resolve your account address through your private key. Um, yeah, and in the module exports, we have the networks. So the test network is the local host network, and the Alpha Heroes network has the network ID of 44787, and the provider is imported using the contract kit, which is kit.connection.web3.current provider. So most of this code will be present in the Git link that is already shared in the deck. Um, yeah, coming back to the scripts, where you can actually, like, if you want to deploy a smart contract, what you need to do is you need to run this script first. So if you open the project and do a npm install, an npm install, you're basically trying to install all the packages. Once that is done, let me open VS Code again. Yeah, so you have this script which will help you get your account, and it will also display your account address. So I'll run it once. Node Celo deploy.js. So it gives me an account. So I can fund this account with test Celo tokens from the faucet. So to deploy a smart contract, you need Celo dollars and Celo tokens for the transaction fees. So for that, you need to fund your testnet account again. Yeah. Meanwhile, coming back, you can also have a look into the docs, like what migration means. Like, most of the things are explained over here. Installation of the packages and so on. Um, the networks given in the Truffle config file. And now let's come to compiling the smart contract. So to compile smart contract on the Cellular test network, it is mandatory to have the Alpha Heroes network already configured in the networks section of the module.exports. So basically what we are trying to do is we are trying to compile the smart contract, and whenever you compile a smart contract, an application binary interface, which is the ABI, which is basically a JSON file containing all the data associated with the smart contract, it gets generated in the build folder. So let me do a truffle compile. Yeah, I have previously compiled the smart contracts, and once the smart contract is compiled, you can see that your the JSON files get generated. So one is the migrations.json, which is for the default smart contract here, and the other one is for the hello world smart contract. Now I want to migrate this smart contract, which is deployed on the blockchain, to the Celo Alpha Heroes test network. So for that, the command to do that is truffle migrate network. Um, so you take the network name, which is Alpha Heroes, from your truffle config file, and you write it here. And I want to redeploy all the smart contracts again, so I do a reset. So it is starting the migration. The initial migration, you can see it over here that the first contract, which is migration.sol, has already been migrated, and the hello world migration smart contract is hello world smart contract is getting migrated to the Celo test network. It also gives you all the necessary data related to the migration and related to the deployment, such as the transaction hash, the balance, the account that you are deploying the smart contract through, and the gas price associated with every transaction, etc. So if you take this transaction hash and if you go to the Celo Explorer, and paste the transaction hash here, you will be able to see that the timestamp, which is 55 seconds ago, the contract was deployed 55 seconds ago to the blockchain on the Celo Alphaeus testnet, and you can see all the other transaction details as well. So basically, you take this link and you submit it in the Gitcoin bounty, and that's how you earn your first Celo token. So I encourage each and every one of you to try the Gitcoin bounty and yeah, earn your first Celo token. Coming to the next part, which is contract kit. But before we go there, let me see if you guys have any questions. Uh, Nothing so far. All right. Yeah, so Celo contract kit. So to build a dApps, Celo contract kit is a library which helps developers to interact with the Celo blockchain, and it is well suited for developers for an easy way to integrate smart contracts within their applications. Um, what you can do with contract kit, you can use contract kit to connect to a node on Celo. You can access a web3 object with the node's JSON RPC API. You can send transactions with Celo's extra fees, like the fee currency. If you want the fee currency to be in USD, or if you want it to be in Celo, you can change all of that using the contract kit, the gateway fee recipient as well as the gateway fee. And it also provides you a simple interface to interact with the Celo token as well as this USD token. And yeah, an interface to provide with the core contracts, locally signed transactions, utilities, and so on. You can even query on-chain identifiers for a phone number. Yeah, for more information about contract kit, you can visit the Celo docs. Now, we are going to learn how to use contract kit to send Celo CUSD from one account to another using on the Celo blockchain. So this will be a web-based app. You can replicate the same on a React Native mobile application, and you can build your own wallet wherein you can send assets to your friends from your wallet in your app to another wallet. You can even link the same to the person's mobile phone using the Dapkit and the contract kit. So we'll come on to the Dapkit towards the end. So beginning with this lesson, which is a Celo transactions lesson. So for this, you head over to the link in slide number 13. Again, this is a boilerplate code which has the Celo contract kit, and it basically allows you to connect with the Celo extension wallet and query the CUSD balance that you have in your wallet. So what we want to do extra is that we want to add two text fields. One is to specify the amount of USD that you want to send to another wallet, and the second one is the receiver's address. So if you're sending some CUSD to your friend, you can mention the address of your friend's wallet, and you can mention the amount, and you can send CUSD in real time, and then you'll be able to see the transaction hash. You can view it on the Explorer, and the balance also will change in real time. So doing this exercise, the solution to the code in this repository is there in my own fork of the same repository. The link is already there in the deck, which has been shared with you guys. Yeah, so let's dive into this lesson. Yeah, so I have already let's go through a bit of code. Yeah, so in this lesson, we have a create account.js, a script which uses a Web3 to fetch your account, and it basically gives you an address. And we also have a code which explains comprehensively how you can use ContratKit, like signing a Celo transaction using ContratKit, sending Celo transaction, and viewing the balance in the command line interface. And we also have getting balances of your local Celo wallet, and sending Celo and Celo US dollars, and then viewing the balance inside the command line interface itself. Um, so what we can do is we can like comment each of this function and try to uncomment one function and try to run the file like node lesson.js, and you'll be able to see uh, how it actually works, how each and every function call actually works. Yeah, so at first you'll have to install all the packages using npm install or yarn. Yeah, and the web page folder has another project altogether, which has the index.html file and the index.js file. So in the index.js has a set of functions for sending over transactions from one wallet to another, and the HTML file has most of the UI code for the same. Yeah, so I'm going to run this using yarn dev, since I've already done the package installations. If you don't do the package installations, you won't be able to start the same thing locally. Yeah. So this is the application. First of all, going through the code. So we have the inputs here, which you can see in the UI. Yeah, and we also have the index.js file. So I'll try to explain some of the code, what actually happens. But before that, let's take a quick demo of how the application works. And you can even replicate the same thing on a mobile application. So at first, we connect to the Celo extension wallet. I have already connected my wallet. So upon clicking the connect extension button, you will be able to see a wallet pop up saying whether you want to connect with the dApp and what account you want to connect to. So I am connected to this account, which already has a balance of 9 CUSD. And I want to send my funds to another account of mine, which has 10 CUSD. So I'm just going to copy this address and paste it in the receiver's address field, and I want to send an amount equivalent to say 5 Celo US dollars. So you'll be able to see that this will decrement and equate to $4 after the transaction has gone through, and you will be able to see an increment of the same in this particular test account. So cents USD, the amount is equal to 5, and the address, as we've mentioned, yeah, ends with EB. The same ends with EB as well. So send a transaction. So it says that it wants to do a transfer of 5 Celo US dollars, and the gas fee for the same transaction is 0.000025 Celo, which is like 25 by uh, yeah 0.00025 of $6. So you can see that the transaction fees are very less if you compare it with the Ethereum network, and also the transactions happen really fast, like blazingly fast. um, yeah, so you can see that the transaction amount has been decremented by $5, and now it's 4, and you can view the transaction hash here. It says the transaction happened 30 seconds ago, and it shows how much amount of Celo dollars the transaction happened for, and yeah, the transaction fee and so on. So this was the application, and if you see that the same in the wallet, you can see this was 9 USD and now it is 4 USD. So this is a very basic um, getting started application that you can build on Celo to understand how transactions happen on Celo. So let's dive into the code right now. Yeah, so we import Web3. Web3 JS is a set of it's a JavaScript library which helps you interact your smart contract with your wallet and with the node software, the node software which is allowing you to communicate with the blockchain. And we import the contract kit from Celo, and yeah, so this ERC20 ABI.json is the ABI of the Celo CUSD token on the test network. And yeah, we have the contract address of the same, and we initiate kit and CUSD contract to be used in these functions. So at first we connect to the Celo extension wallet using an async function. So it's just like if you worked with Ethereum before, we do a window.ethereum. So since we're using the extension wallet, we do a window.celo. Then we enable the wallet. Once the wallet is enabled, we instantiate a new instance of Web3 with the argument as window.celo, and we import the same inside the contract kit. So contract kit.new kit from Web3. So this is a very important step. Once that is done, you fetch the accounts from the wallet that you are connected to, and a kit.default account is the account that you are going to use for your transaction. So if you switch your accounts in the extension wallet, the account 0 automatically changes to the account that you have chosen presently in your wallet. Next is you call the Celo US dollar transaction, Celo US dollar compiled ABI, which is called using kit.web3.eth.contract. So in the normal Ethereum calls, what we do is we use the web3.eth.contract, but on using contract kit on Celo, we use the kit.web3.eth.contract, and we import the ERC20 ABI, which is this JSON file, and we also give the address. So you can view most of these. You can refer to most of the documentation about Web3 on the official web3.js docs. So how what are the parameters to be put in this particular function? and so on. And then you call the get balance function, which is here. If you are not able to connect to the Celo extension wallet, it will simply give you an error, please connect to the extension wallet. If you don't have the extension wallet, it will prompt you to install the extension wallet using the link. So this is the send function. So what it does is it takes the amount, the value from the recipient's address that you specify in the input field. It also takes the amount that you want to send. So the amount is taken from the amount field, and then the transactions have to be converted from ether to Y. So these are units of the currencies like ether, Y, GY, and so on. Just like we have meters, centimeters, so they are interconvertible. So we use web3.utils.2y. We take the send amount that we have taken from the input field, and we use this ether string. That is, it converts the value from ether to Y. And 1 ether is equals 10 to the power 18 Y, and vice versa. So then it calls the methods from the Celo dollar contract, which does a transfer method and also a send method. So the transfer calls in the Celo address, which is this address, and it also takes send amount, and the amount is sent from the default account, that is the account that you are presently connected on your wallet. And once the transaction happens, you call the get balance function and you show the transaction hash that we see here. So all of this happens using a function call that is send, and the get balance basically queries the balance that you have in your default account, and the balance is then shifted by 18 decimal places, and then it is rounded to 2 decimals to give this rounded figure, which is 4.00. Yeah, and yeah, so that's it. And this is the show transaction hash function, which basically gives it in the string format, and that is the block explorer URL that you can basically check the transaction that you have made. And the index.html file. Yeah, so this was about Celo Contract Kit, a basic app to send Celo US dollars from one wallet to another. And any questions so far? All right. Guys, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat so that we can have some answers. Yeah, just like the contract kit, Celo also provides the dApp kit and also the dApp web kit. So the dApp kit is a lightweight set of functions that allow mobile dApps to work with the Celo wallet to sign transactions and access the user's account. So this allows for a mobile-friendly user experience, and dApps can focus on a great native experience without having to worry about key management. You don't have to worry about your keys of your wallet, of your particular account. It also provides a simple development experience, and it has no state or connection management necessary. So you can get more info about Dapkit here. Yeah. So for the Dapkit demo, I'm just going to go through the code, how Dapkit is used inside the application. So this is a health registry application which was made during the Celo India Fellowship by one of my colleagues, Vivida. And yeah, so it uses a React Native application powered by Expo. So with Expo, you don't need Mac OS to build an iOS app. With Expo, you only need an iOS device to run the Expo Go app. And for your development machine, Windows Linux or Mac OS, Expo supports all these platforms. Yeah, so we require Node.js, Yarn, and Truffle for this. You can also use npm, and let's take a look at the code. Yeah, so if you see the structure of the code base, I'll open it in my code editor and maybe perhaps try to explain. Yeah. Yeah, so you can see that the root folder is basically the most of the blockchain stuff, which is initialized using the truffle init command. So once you do a truffle init, you'll have this bare bones app, bare bones truffle config js file, and then yeah, you can see that there are contracts. There is the migration folder for migrating your smart contracts to that particular work, and we also have the utils file that we have used in the first lesson, which is to map the account address using the private key of that particular account. So let's go through the truffle config js file. Again, we use the contract kit to deploy the smart contract to the Celo network. Just like we have done this before, we use the utility scripts from the utils folder. One is for creating the account. So it will basically display the account address of a randomly generated account in the command line. And you can get the account, or else you can get the account from the uh, the 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 secret yeah, from the secret file. So you have to make a .secret file to deploy this, and you need to paste the secret key. And when you build application, always keep the environment variables inside the git ignore, so that you don't expose them and people don't get access to that. And this is really important when you're making stuff on the blockchain, like decentralized application, which involves use of assets. So once you get the account, we also have the networks, which is the development network, the main network, and the alpha heroes test network. So you can see that the network ID for this particular smart contract is 4478. For this particular network is 44787. For the mainnet, it is 42220. So the contracts were deployed using Truffle, similarly like we had done in the first lesson. And you can see it over here. If you go to client, assets and contracts, you can see both the migrations.sol and the health records.sol contracts deployed, and these are the application binary interfaces of those smart contracts. So this is uh, the data representing that. So the functions are compiled into an ABI, and this is all the data representing that particular smart contract. Now, if you want to see whether your smart contract has been deployed to a particular network, you can check networks, and you can see that the object has this 44787 string, and you can this is the address that your contract is deployed to. So if I query this address on the Explorer, you'll be able to see that this address had been created on 27th of June 2021 at this particular time, and it gives you the most of the info about this particular smart contract. Going back into the code, this is the transaction hash, this is the chain ID. The same can be verified over here. So you can infer that the contract has been deployed to the Celo Alpha Arist test network. So once your contracts have been deployed, you need to interact with them with the client side. So with the mobile decentralized application. React Native gives you the client side. So we write the UI using React Native. And the application is application is generated, the folder is generated using expo init command. So you can learn more about expo and how to install expo here for CLI. Yeah, if you do a global installation with like npm install g expo CLI, you'll be able to install expo. And expo init is used to create a new project. Yeah, and these are some of the commands. Now let's run the application. I'll close this. Terminate. I'm going to start this all over again. Stopping server. Yeah, so we navigate from the root folder. So the root folder has all these contracts, the Truffle config file, and so on. Now you go to the client folder, and you can see that the client folder has its own package file. It also has all the compiled contracts, all the assets in bold, all the scripts, and so on. Yeah, so let's take a look at the structure of the client folder. So in the contracts, we have the ABIs. We have the main app.json, which renders most of the React Native code. And we have the login screen. So login component, which is login.js, the menu component, and the pay component. So this app basically lets you create a health registry on the blockchain, and it also lets you buy insurance premiums using depending on a set of conditions, like based on your age and based on the health conditions that you provide. And just like Metamask on a web-based decentralized application, on Celo we have the Velora wallet, which does most of the mobile-based transactions for you. And to interact with Velora, we use the Dapkit. So I'll show the demo of the app in some time, but before that, let's take a look at login. Yeah, so yeah, most of this is React Native code, and we also imported the health records ABI, which is this health records.json, and this component is used to log in into the app. So the login basically does signs a transaction with the Celo wallet, the Celo Velora wallet, and yeah, so in the Velora wallet, your address is mapped to your phone number. So basically, if you want to send money to someone, you don't need to put his address. You can directly search for his phone number and send Celo dollars or Celo euro or Celo tokens to that particular friend of yours. So it's just like an UPI, uh, uh, a UPI mobile app, but for crypto. You can think of it in simple terms. This is the menu component, and all the files are then imported in the app.js file. Yeah, and we use the Celo Dapkit for this purpose. So it has the components like request transaction signature, wait for signed transaction, request account address, wait for account authentication, fee currency, and so on. So these are the parameters. So you can use fee currency for deciding what fee you want as the main currency for the platform. And the remaining ones are like waiting for the transaction signature, um, getting the account address, like for sending a transaction, and yeah, etc., etc. This is the linking library of Expo that is used to link between various UI, because this is a blockchain based app. And yeah, most of the linking should happen like the flow should look synchronous whenever like in terms of user experience. uh, yeah, so let's take a look at the smart contracts. Yeah, so the smart contract has a set of functions. It includes like the blood group, the disease, the medication, allergies, weight, height, age, insurance, and so on. So the get blood group function basically returns whatever value is stored on the blockchain in terms of the blood group. Similarly, for the disease, if you have mentioned something like a specific disease that you have on the blockchain, whenever you query this function from the app, it will return the particular uh, value. Similar with allergies, with weights, with height, with age, insurance, and so on. You can also set, suppose over time you develop some another health condition and you want to update that in the distributed ledger. So you can use the set, you can make use of set function, which basically changes the variable to another variable that you set it to. So uh, let's have a quick demo of the app. uh, yeah Harsh, I wanted to share the mobile screen for the app demo. Yeah, yeah, thank you so much. So to compile the app, you need to do an npm start. I'll just show that after the demo. So this is the splash screen which helps you to log in. Records. You can see that the wallet, the Velora wallet has already returned my phone number. I have given my age, I have given my height, my weight, and so on. The medications. If I want to update my health records and I want to give, um, I want to update my allergy to say pollen, I will update it, and this will make a call to the blockchain using the Velora wallet. It will help you sign your transaction. Once the transaction is signed, it will ask you for your authentication using your PIN. Um, yeah, and once the details have been updated, it will say that the details have been updated successfully. Um, Actually, the display is not changing in the screen share, but I have already uh, updated my health record and I've changed the allergies to pollen. And similarly, so this is a very basic mobile app that you can build using Celo. Um, Coming back to the coming back to the deck. So this was what I've shown as the demo, and let's take a look into how Celo is changing the world. So we have the impact market uh, protocol for universal basic income. It is an open, free, borderless, censorship-resistant, mobile-first, transparent crowd finance application. It is designed to alleviate poverty and increase access to financial services. It allows for autonomous management of funds, so you don't need a third party like the interference from a government or any other third party like a bank, etc. It gives you full transparency, independence from public or central authorities. It has three main participants: the backers. The backers are the people who send and donates USD to any community contract. So if you donate CUSD, you are basically a backer of the impact market protocol. And there are manager organizations, which are local organizations who create community, set parameters, decide who has access to the claim income, etc. from the contract. And the beneficiaries are the people to whom this income actually goes to. And yeah, for the hackathon, you can take a look at some of the projects that have been built by the Celo India Fellows. So we've had some amazing projects, and you can also take a look at uh, Figment tutorials, which basically give you tools to get started building on Celo. Like, these are some of the things that I started when I started learning, when I first started building on Celo. So yeah, you can create a vault smart contract. You can build a DAO on Celo using a smart contract. Um, yeah, you can basically learn how you can redeploy your own Ethereum dApp to Celo. You can build a kind of a distributed file manager using Celo IPFS and React, and so on. So this is a very good resource to look at, and you can use these ideas to build upon your own ideas. And yeah, you can also check out the various ecosystem projects in Celo Hub. So you can see apps building on impact, building on DeFi, um, earn, and also wallets. So in DeFi, you have very popular apps like Moola Markets, like the uh, which is a fork of Aave V1 protocol, and also Uniswap, which is a mobile-first decentralized exchange. So these are pioneering projects in the Celo ecosystem. We also have Optics, which helps in cross-chain communication, like moving assets from Celo to Ethereum, Celo to Polygon, and so on. We have leveraged yield farming protocols, synthetic asset-based protocols like Cresco. We have Norm Space, which is like the ENS of Celo. And this is one of my projects that we are building, me and Rishabh at the Celo Camp Accelerator. So we are building a kind of uh, a Decentraland, but a pixel-based Decentraland on Celo to help users connect with each other. It's a GameFi platform, and yeah, so we have a number of applications building here. You can take a look at them. Some of them are open source, some of them are not. You can take ideas, and yeah, there are NFT projects as well. Yeah, so this marks the end of the session. Thank you so much for listening patiently. I hope you make the best use of the resources provided to you. Also, you can take a look at previous hackathon projects for ideas, like Celo Gitcoin hackathon. I'll share the link in the chat. There are some really good projects which you can take ideas from and build further. Who knows, maybe the project that you develop today may grow into one of the most pioneering projects in the ecosystem. I encourage most of you to apply to the Celo Camp Batch 5, because it's one of the best places where you can learn with other startups in the world. And it has been an amazing experience where they connect you to people, to mentors, and an amazing network who are building solutions on Celo. So yeah, here are some of the projects. I'll link this in the in the chat so that it can be shared with you guys. Yeah, so thank you everyone. This marks the end of the session, uh, and I wish you all the best. Are there any questions so that we can have a look at them?
Hi, I don't think we have any more questions. Would you like to say something before you would like to wrap up?
Yeah, so I hope you had a very nice session. I hope it was of some worth. You had a good learning opportunity. So these were some of the things that you can get started building on Celo. And basically, the best idea is to take a Web2 project which has a really good use case and try to replicate the same thing on Web3. So that is one of the best strategies that I use at hackathons, and that really helps you build on build your skills by just uh, uh, like using the same idea from a Web2 perspective to a Web3 perspective. And you can use the mobile first approach of Celo to build something really good for Apptitude. Yeah, so this was all I had to say. All the best. Wish you all the best. If you have any questions, you can always DM me on Discord. I'm sharing my uh, Discord name and my email as well. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. So thank you so much uh, to the team from ACM, and I'm really grateful for having me today and share my knowledge.
Thank you, Elio. It was great having you, and I hope everybody got something to learn. And with that, we'd like to end the session.